Hi, welcome to this podcast, The Runner's Soul. This is a podcast where running meets science, stride by stride. I'm Sharon, a runner and a podiatrist for the last 20 years. I've helped hundreds of feet run smarter, heal faster, and feel better. And here's something I've learned over the years. Whether you're a weekend jogger, a couch to 5K beginner, a marathon maniac, your feet are your foundation and the key to everything. Today, we're starting from the ground up, literally, with an episode that's going to change how you see every step by understanding your feet. Ready? Lace up. Let's go. Before we dive into feet, let's rewind the clock a little. Have you ever wondered, when did running actually start? Who was the very first person to say, hey, I think I'll just go for a run just for the sake of it? Well, the truth is, nobody invented running. Humans, we were born to run. We've been doing it for around 2 million years, long before there were shoes, medals, or Strava segments. Back then, running wasn't a sport. It was all about survival. Science believed early humans practiced something called persistence hunting. Picture this, a group of humans on the hot African plains, barefoot. The antelope comes along and sprints away. But here's the trick. It has to stop to cool down at some point. We, on the other hand, we sweat. We just keep on going, mile after mile after mile. Eventually, the animal overheats, slows down, and hey presto, we catch it, and dinner served. So running is literally in our DNA. We were just born to run. Now let's skip ahead to 776 years before the start of the Common Era calendar. This is where running turns into a real sport. The very first Olympic Games. There was only one event, a foot race called the Stadion. One straight sprint of about 200 meters. And then comes the famous running story of all, the Phindipides. In 490 BC, after the Battle of Marathon, this soldier runs all the way from the town of Marathon to Athens, about 40 kilometers, to deliver the message that the Greeks had defeated the Persians. The story goes, he runs non-stop, bursts into the assembly, shouts, "Victory!" and collapses. That legendary run is why we call the race a marathon. And here's a fun twist. The official marathon distance, 42,195 kilometers, wasn't set until 1908. London Olympics, just so the race could start at Windsor Castle and finish right in front of the royal family box. After that, well, the rest is history. It just stuck. Then fast forward to the 1970s, running becomes a global hobby. Bill Bowerman, co-founder of Nike, writes jogging. Jim Fixx writes the complete book of running. And suddenly everyone is jogging in the parks. Road races are everywhere and the shoe industry really takes off. And now, here we are in 2025. Running is everywhere. Some run for speed, some run for health, some just for that coffee and a chat afterwards, just to make it social. We've gone from survival to sport to lifestyle. Pretty amazing, huh? So why do we still run when we no longer have to do it to chase our food? Well, for starters, running is like a multivitamin to your whole body. Your heart loves it. Running strengthens your cardiovascular system, your lungs, they become more efficient, and your muscles become much more stronger. And your brain, oh wow. Running has been shown to reduce stress, boost mood, and even help with anxiety, mild depression, and even, some say, prevents Alzheimer's. We've probably heard of runner's high. That's not a myth. It's those feel-good endorphins that you get from running, and it's just them doing the magic when you just feel like you can just run forever. Here's a stat that might make you grab your shoes. Studies show that regular runners live longer. On average, they have a 27 to 40% lower risk of dying early compared to non-runners. So, even light jogging a couple of times a week can add 5 to 6 extra years to your life. 5 years, that's a lot of birthday cake and a lot of presents. There's also research on telomeres, those protective caps on your DNA that shorten as we age. Runners who run at least 75 minutes a week tend to have longer telomeres. It's almost like your cells are literally younger. And let's not forget the social side. Running clubs, park runs, marathons, that high five from a stranger at kilometre 35 when you think you can't go on anymore and they urge you on. So running connects us in so many different ways. So when we talk about running, it's not just fitness, it's therapy, it's stress management, it's a time machine that adds years to your life. All right, so now that we know why we run, let's look at how we run, starting from the ground up. Did you know your foot has 26 bones, 33 joints, and over 100 muscles, tendons, and ligaments in the feet? Wow! Every time you take a step, they act like a shock absorber, a spring, a steering wheel, all in a millisecond. And they do this thousands of times during a single run. Honestly, they deserve a standing ovation, which is ironic because they're already standing. Most people never think about their feet until something goes wrong with them or they start to hurt. So let's give them some of the attention that they deserve. There are 3 basic foot types. You've probably heard people talk about the neutral, the biomechanical sweet spot, the flat foot, more likely to overpronate, stressing arches and knees. And we have the high arch, which is less natural shock absorption, more risk of ankle injuries and knee problems. And for the high arch, it's even more important that your shoes have really good support and they give you that shock absorption to protect your joints. None of these are bad, but knowing your type, that's the first step in running smarter. Think of it like this. You wouldn't drive a sports car with flat tires, right? Same with running. You've got to know your equipment. You've got to know your strengths. So, how do you run? Well, your foot lands and naturally rolls slightly inward. That's pronation. and that's normal. Too much rolling, that's overpronation. That's when you start getting shin splints, knee pain, plantar fasciitis. Too little rolling, that's supination. Hello, sprained ankles, stress fractures, knee pain. And here's your strike pattern. Heel strikers, mid-foot runners, forefoot runners. And here's the thing, there's no single right way. But when your running style doesn't match your shoes, that's when trouble happens. That's why we do gait assessments. It's like an X-ray vision of your stride. We film you, slow you down, and then look exactly how your feet are performing, the ankles and the legs, just see what's actually happened during your gait, during your running. And I can't tell you how many runners I've seen who've solved chronic pain just by wearing the correct shoes. So now we'll talk about how structure meets function. Here's something most people don't realize. Your feet are the base of your kinetic chain. If they're not working properly, that stress travels upwards, knees, hips, back, neck. Too much foot collapse, knees suffer. Feet too rigid, you lose shock absorption. I've treated so many runners who've spent months doing knee rehab when the real issue was their feet. So when in doubt, start from the bottom up. Let's talk about action steps. Here are 4 simple things you can do today to understand your own feet better. Okay, the first one, the wet test. After a shower, when your feet are wet, step on a piece of paper. Brown paper is best. And then look at your footprint. Your arch shape tells you a big story. Do you have a flat foot? Do you have a high arch? You'll see from the shape that the wet foot makes on the paper. Then we'll do the shoe check. Flip your running shoe over. Are they worn evenly or just on one side? Do they bend easy? How old are they? Your shoes shouldn't be any more than 1 year old. And if they are, you definitely need to change them. Another good thing to do is film your gait. Prop your phone behind a treadmill or ask a friend. Watching yourself run is a real eye-opener. And also, it's good to see a professional if you are a serious runner. Because if you're serious about running pain-free, it's best to see a professional. So, to summarize today, we talked about the history of running and where the marathon, which is an internationally recognized event, came from. So, thanks for listening to the first episode of The Runner's Soul. If this episode helps you rethink your stride, follow us, share it with your friends, share it with fellow runners, share it with your running club, find yourself a local podiatrist. You'll definitely benefit. So next week, we'll unpack the most common running injuries and how to spot the warning signs before they sideline you. Until then, run smart and keep those feet happy and healthy.